There's two things you're going to struggle to admit, but this is the truth. Mode 1 is actually the correct way of flying, and pinching pilots, like, is anybody really taking a pinching pilot seriously? G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here. I'm a little bit worried about the comments. Like, yes, settle down. I was just teasing you pinching pilots there. But what we're looking at today, maybe you pinching pilots might be in a bit of a pinch. I swear I just came up with that on the spot right then. But we're looking at this radio. This is from Jumper. It is the Bumblebee. It's their latest version. It can do some cool things, but is it doing enough? And we're going to be comparing it to the Pocket and going through in this video, should you get it? Is this a good option if you're getting into FPV? Is it worth the upgrade? We're going to catch up with Stickman Steve in a little bit. We're going to fly this around, show what it's like in the field. Let's go through some of the features though. I got to say, in the hands, I feel like it is made for a thumbing pilot. Like if you are a pinching pilot, your mileage might vary just a little bit. On the top, we have a bunch of buttons. We have a bunch of buttons on the top, which are like a couple of 3-position switches, momentary switches, and latching switches, as well as some potentiometers. A big one for me, I do like the folding antenna. Flipping it over, take some 18650s. You're going to notice if you want to put a little module in the back, you're going to need to do a little bit of work. It is possible. You just need to get a couple little extras. But in the hands and on the bench, it's not doing anything too spectacular as far as I'm concerned, especially for the price, which is like close to $100, depending on where you're going to get this from, versus something like the Radiomaster Pocket, which is $65. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take it out to the field, fly it around, and show you should you get this radio, or should you check out my ultimate radio buyer's guide for 2025 to make the most informed decision today so you can get the right radio. So let's go do it, have some fun in 3, 2, 1.
Oh man, what's going on?
What do you mean? What's happening, Steve?
Dude, I got video.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I got all my OSD, everything.
Yeah. Oh, you're flying.
Not aiming, man.
That's an Xbox controller.
What?
You need to use
dude.
this controller.
Oh, where did this come from?
Yeah, the Bumblebee.
Oh.
So the first thing I got to say when I put this in the hand as a pincher, like that's why I had that Xbox joke at the start of the video, it does feel very, very familiar. And dare I say, for me, it feels more comfortable than the Pocket, like the actual ergonomics as a pincher sitting in my hand. But straight off the bat, the part I don't like, it feels cheap. Like the plastic feels cheap, the gimbals feel cheap. I do not really like, this is just going to take some getting used to, but like the 3 little buttons and pressing everything, it just feels cheaper than some of the other quality radios that we've got. And that's even like, I'm not just talking about the Boxer Crushers and that sort of stuff, like the cheaper radios like the Pocket for me, I think I prefer. In setting this up, what I don't like my favorite switch is an arming switch right here as a latching switch. We've been setting up left or right, you know, that's up for debate. But we've got these big momentaries up the top, which by default are just that, a momentary switch you press. I don't know what FPV pilot is flying around and needs a quick button that lasts for 1 second. Like if this big one here as a safety switch was a latching depressible switch, or even one on the left-hand side, if you're one of those T-Rex people, much, much better. That's my opinion. But look, we're gonna go for a cruise. We're gonna see what it's like. I can see some pretty cool Falcons and stuff out there. Steve, if you could plug in for me, good sir.
Too easy.
The screen, today's, I don't know if this is going to come through.
Ridiculous, yeah.
It is very, very small, but also hard to see. So in this light situation, which there's a lot better screens out there, I believe, especially for like $100. That's the part we need to remember with this. All right, cruising this around now. All right, and we're away now. A very short throw on the gimbals, I can feel that. I don't think a lot of people are going to like that. Maybe some racers. But I do like the folding antenna. I think that's, you know, neither sort of like a must in today's market cruising around. We can go up to 1 watt. Of course, we're going to be nice and legal here in Australia. But I think in the hands, and this is the part that I really want to get through, it feels cheap. Like I'm holding an aftermarket controller for the Xbox or something.
Okay.
It's not like, you know, when we flew, I think the Radiomaster GX12 is a perfect example. Man, there's so much water out here. Is a perfect example of like a nice feeling quad.
It does.
A nice feeling radio when it's in your hands. Ooh, I got an RF signal critical. That's interesting.
How far out are you?
I wasn't too far and I wasn't too low either. Like the video was perfectly fine.
Yeah, yeah. So
Now-
with those buttons, they're not getting in the way or anything for you?
Well, I'm resting my hands on these, or like on the two latching switches, which I'm quite comfortable doing, but I do like that it doesn't have any traditional like 3-position, I don't know what you call it, like a flicking switch that sort of sticks out, which does mean it's not going to break as easily. Like if you drop your radio, those are usually the first thing to break, whereas this is not going to be the case, especially with the folding antenna. It would be very easy to transport. The big one though for me, is it better than the Pocket? I don't think so. Like the Pocket is so popular for a reason. I mean, it can go, sorry, it's probably quite a loud quad. It can go up to a watt, where the Pocket is only 300 milliwatts, but that's more than enough anyway. I very, very rarely, if ever, have had a fail-safe on my Pocket. So I think that extra watt isn't needed for most pilots. And if you are doing long range, chances are you're probably going to be using Gemini or the Nomad or some other systems as well. So for me, I am not a fan for the price. Is it a bad radio? No. Is there anything inherently wrong with it? No. Are there other options which possibly are cheaper or just do this better? Yes, like it's a very hard market nowadays. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it in. We're going to hand it over to Stickman Steve. It does sit nicely in my hand, so I have to say that. Like, I don't have to move to have full control of this radio. I don't have to, it'd be very, very quick to be able to disarm or in some of those emergency situations. So that, for my natural thumbing position, does feel better than the Pocket, but that's probably about it. All right, I'm going to come in and see if I can have a landing. I forgot how good these goggles look. Man, that was like the smoothest landing I think I've ever done.
One of your better ones up here, for sure.
And I don't even think it looks that cool. Like the actual aesthetics on what it's doing. Bumblebee, yeah, I get it. But yeah, that's the exact word, a gimmick. Anyway, let's hand it over to Meat Cleaver or Stickman Steve.
Here we go.
See how his ginormous crab claws go around it and what it's like as a pincher. All right, Stickman Steve, the man with the biggest hands in FPV. Check this out. Show me that shot again. All right, I can't even see the radio in there, but the Radio Master Bumblebee, $100, 1 watt, foldable antenna. You've seen, we've had a little bit of a discussions, but let's get your thoughts on camera. What's your first thoughts about it?
I'm on the same side as you in terms of the tactile feel in your hands. It doesn't feel like they've done a huge good job on the quality of the plastics and things. Honestly, I don't care what a radio looks like. I love the look of the crushes and things like that, but mate, when you're flying, you got these on. Yep. You're not looking at your radio, you know?
Yes.
The thing I like the least about this is the screen.
Okay.
Trying to do stuff out in the field, like I can't even read it right now.
Yeah, I wonder if you're looking at direct sun.
It's just black, just complete blackout.
Yep, okay.
So that's kind of a big deal.
Yes.
Trying to do stuff. I think the biggest thing for me is the switches. This isn't too bad. I was a bit disappointed that these aren't latching. They're just momentary.
Yeah, I would have much preferred them to be latching.
Sort of more traditional what you get out of the Pocket, even the Jumper T15 and stuff like that. You know, it's got those better layout, I think, of the buttons. Apart from that, mate, yeah, the folding antenna, that's a huge one for me.
Yes.
Love that about the Pocket. If I could have that on my Boxer, I've said it time and time again, would be amazing.
All right, and then I guess we're going to get your thoughts on the gimbals, like when it's actually in the air, when you're cruising around.
Yeah. Like, I think comparative to some of the cheaper ready-to-fly kits, just by feel without flying, it feels a bit more.
Yeah, but this is $100 too. Like that's the part we need to hear. It's not a cheap ready-to-fly kit. It's $100 radio.
That's right. I think the value you're getting out of that money is the 1 watt.
Yep.
But I never use it.
Yeah, true.
Never ever.
We never push it that far. All right, let's rip it around and see what it's like in the air.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's not too bad for pinching.
Okay.
Just hitting that arm button, you know. I'm used to just hitting the top one.
Yeah, I have started setting these up now where your arm switches on the opposite side to mine. It doesn't matter which one we use. So that's a benefit. 2 latching switches, unlike some of the others.
Yeah, that's good. Alrighty, take it off.
This is where I don't tell you I put in a flat battery and you just straight into the drink.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, the throw on those gimbals is tiny, isn't it? Very short travel. Well, yeah, I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's controlling the quad. How far out did you get when you had the RX?
Over like almost where I crashed the plane that time, remember?
Oh, yep. Okay. Yeah, I got no issues this time. Yeah, look, honestly, I think the feel of the Pocket suits me better, just the way I hold it and sort of palm in my hands. It's not a bad feel. It doesn't feel like as good a quality as the Pocket.
Are any of the switches getting in the way in your natural, just how you're holding it?
No. No, they're not.
All right, which is different to the GX12.
Yeah, that thing was like a really nice radio, as keeps being discussed. But for me personally, and the way I hold and my comfortable position I get my hands in, nah, the GX12 was a bit too difficult.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a radio, mate.
How do the gimbals feel?
Very cheap.
All right.
Very cheap. I think for the price range, you're better off going with something else that's a bit more tried and proven, like the Pocket or the Zorro.
All right, Steve, I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. Is this worth $100?
I don't think so, mate.
Would you pick this up?
Nope.
As a thumbing pilot, do you recommend it?
I'm not a thumber.
Oh, shit. Yeah, all right.
I was like, hang on a minute.
As a pinching pilot, is it terrible or okay? Rated out of 10 for a pinching pilot?
Oh, I'd say 8.
All right. How's it feel in the hands in terms of like quality?
Probably a 5.
Get it over the Radio Master Pocket?
Definitely not.
All right. Well, anything you really like about the radio? Any standout features that would make you want to get this over any competitors?
No, honestly, it's not, mate.
I think the only thing for me was it can go up to a watt, but we don't use that.
We don't use it, and you're going to be not abiding by your local laws by doing so. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So.
And it does have a different module connector on the back as well, so which makes it a little bit more of a pain.
So it's not a nano or a
yeah, it's like a tiny little not JST, but a different little connector. All right, I'm going to let you bring this in. Let's see if your landing is as smooth as mine, and then we can get these final thoughts.
Yep.
Now, I don't have to adjust your arm switch.
No, I've got it.
3 foot, 2 foot, 1 foot.
Oh, what?
Not as nice as mine.
Not as nice as yours. You're faster than me too.
Yeah. According to research data.
I think if the Pocket haven't come across my radar for a travel radio,
yep,
then I'll definitely look at this.
Yes.
You know, it's great. It does what it's going to do, what it says it's going to do. The aesthetics I don't care about. The screen I do care about. I think the screen needs to be improved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just too dark. Button layout, yep, you can work with it. It doesn't get in the way for me, the way I hold my hands pinching. That's obviously a totally personal thing,
yes,
from person to person. Love the antennas, they're great. Wish they come out on more radios. Gimbals, don't know if you can upgrade them, but they're not.
They didn't feel special at all. Nice, no. Yeah, I agree, yes.
But in terms of functionality, yeah, fine. So as I say, if I was looking for a travel radio to take with me and not take up space, and the Pocket didn't exist, yeah, I'd look at it.
That's it. If the Pocket didn't exist, yes, but it does exist, which kind of makes this, for me, obsolete.
Yep,
so
and the Pocket's cheap.
Yeah, significantly,
yeah.
And you can be upgraded with some great gimbals if you wanted.
It can be, and I don't know if this is going to make post-edit, but the Pocket, you can do a hack to get the 1 watt out of it anyway.
Yeah, you can hack your Pockets,
yep.
But
just Google it.
Yeah, not recommended.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, no, too easy. Yeah. All right, Steve, thumbs up, thumbs down, or in the middle?
I'm in the middle.
Okay. Yep. Thank you. Now here's a little bit of important information. So remember when I got that fail-safe, not fail-safe, but a warning out there? Yeah. We were on 25 milliwatts. So that goes to show what you could get with 300, let alone the 1000, most pilots are never going to need. So if you're watching this and thinking, yeah, but I really want the 1000 milliwatts, we just did all that on 25. So just take stock. You don't need that. Like the 300, 250 is more than enough for 99.9% of flights. So. All right, so my thoughts on the radio actually itself, like it's not doing anything wrong. It just has some really stiff competition in those price brackets. And I think it's actually beaten out by something like the Radio Master Pocket. 1 watt is probably its selling feature that I like, but for me, it feels a little bit cheap in the hands. I don't know what it is about the plastic or anything when you're actually holding this thing. It just feels a little bit cheaper than some of my other radios. As far as like the design and the look of the thing, it's very comfortable for me as a thumbing pilot. Fits nicely in the hands. I didn't have any strain or anything like that. The gimbals feel about the same as like the Pocket gimbals anyway. It's just, I don't know, it's just got some really hard competition. The big one though for you guys watching this, that's a review of it, but the most important video if you're going to watch a radio review, trying to find out which one is right for you, this compares them all, like the Zorros, T16s, the GX12s, the Boxer Crushers, like so many radios are in this video right here. That's the one you need to watch.